So the ANC's 55th elective national conference is underway. President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, addressed the delegates. Before he addressed them, there were a lot of KZN delegates that were singing, Wenze Zuma, Wenze Zuma, pendule wenuya. It had to take Zuma, the chairperson of the ANC in KZN, to try and calm these people down. And as he was doing so, Inkunzi Malanga came in late to Jacob Zuma. And then the singing started again. But then thereafter, Zuma got to quieten down the delegates there who were busy asking, wenzenu Zuma? He got to speak, and in his speech, nothing new, as you guys know from politicians. More false promises, speaking about energy, of which in the speak about energy, Cyril Ramaphosa has taken money to aggressively push South Africa away from fossil fuels, being coal, which you have an abundance of. And some of the countries that are pushing him are reverting back to coal. The United Kingdom, Germany, amongst others, which is hypocritical and ironic and just smacks of the stupidity of having a leader that doesn't put its peoples first. 400 years of coal, I think, is the suggestion of our reserves. Cyril goes and he meets with all these Western global leaders who say South Africa, which is not even a huge emitter of hazardous gases, we must get off coal. And what must we do after we get off coal? We must go and export that coal to these countries that said we must get off. He also spoke about the national health insurance, which is probably never going to happen. I mean, if you look at the state of our public hospitals, our politicians, our government don't deserve to ever try and take on a bigger responsibility than that. He spoke about state capture. He spoke about Eskom, of course, of which part of the fear with stage 6 was that the conference itself, which is at Nasrec in Gauteng, has generated backup power for when it loses power, as the rest of us have been losing. People are obviously trying to follow the conference on Twitter because you might try and follow it on TV and then your TV will switch off because of load shedding. Brought to you thanks to the ANC government. Jacob Zuma's opened a case, criminal charge against Cyril Ramaphosa. And because he's opened a case which may have a 15-year prison sentence linked to it, and it's tied to Cyril Ramaphosa being implicated in charges with advocate Billy Downer, who leaked court documents in the state, in the arms deal, in the arms case, Jacob Zuma. So apparently Cyril Ramaphosa is part of the people that have violated NPA rulings or proceedings or processes, and Zuma's opened this case. They were laughing before the conference to show again that we are the clowns. We are the clowns in this entire thing. But now that the case has been opened, people like senior advocate Dalimpofu has gone to Twitter and said, Ramaphosa, without a case, can suspend a public protector, can suspend, let's say, an Ace Magashule, who was the Secretary General of the ANC. Yet he himself will not step aside. He refuses to step aside as per the party agreement. And he is violating that. And at some point, I think in July this year, it was said that some of the things that are going to be discussed at the ANC elective conference is this step-aside rule, which seems to affect some but not others. All animals are equal. Some are more equal than others. We're going to see if Cyril is actually going to win. IOL has reported that some of the Cyril lobbyists have been giving delegates 20,000 Rand or offering delegates 20,000 Rand bribes to vote for Cyril. I know the Democratic Alliance, the EFF have all said it makes no sense for people to want to carry on with the Cyril Ramaphosa. I think Matsila Koko said the same. I think Sentlese, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, on Twitter said the same, which it makes no sense for people to want to carry on with the Cyril Ramaphosa when they are seeing the load shedding that they are living under during a Cyril tenure. Obviously, like I said, we're the clowns. Gaten McKenzie released a very nice piece on Facebook where he was saying the problems behind Eskom are mainly a mafia or mafias and political issues. He said he'll speak about the political issues another day, but he broke down the mafias. Part of it being the coal mafia. People who are supplying substandard coal, sometimes rocks painted black, which is harming the power stations. And how they sometimes buy coal from service providers and sell them at 3 times the price, to make money. The coal mafia is part of the problem. The fuel mafia, who need things to not work at Eskom so they can keep supplying diesel. And in the supplying of diesel, they also steal diesel and then resell that diesel that had been stolen to Eskom again. Spoke about the maintenance mafia, the people that make sure that infrastructure is constantly breaking down at Eskom so they can keep getting the tenders to come back and fix and re-maintain things that have already been fixed. Spoke about a truck mafia, which has made sure that the railway networks have been destroyed so that their trucks can keep getting money and contracts to keep shuttling this coal from the mines to Eskom. It's a mess. But Gayton said, look, he's willing to put his hand up and try and fix that. In and amongst this conference, where Cyril is going to be battling Zweli Mkhize, we don't know if other delegates or other nominees are going to come from the floor. We still have load shedding. We have potholes. I was driving yesterday evening and I drove past certain cars that were busy being fixed on the side of the road because of bad potholes on the roads. We've got bad education, bad schooling system. Nothing's changed. 40% graduate unemployment. We've got no jobs. Unemployment keeps going up. Cyril was saying at the conference, they have raised over R1 trillion in investments, and which is, to me at least, a big lie. It's almost like the COVID relief money where they were like, it's 500 billion. But a chunk of it was tax deferments. A part of it was UIF money being shifted around, an increase in the tax budget. It wasn't real cash. So even here, if certain companies had budgeted certain monies to carry on with business as usual, Cyril is going to earmark that with his people about Trevor Manuel and say, foreign direct investment. That's a lie. It's a blatant lie. It's actually cooking the books, so to speak. Making it seem like, we have more money just because you changed your budget and changed your parameters. We've got no jobs. The economy is not doing well. Our grant recipients, people that rely on social welfare grants, have gone up from 19 million to close to 30 million, if not 30.5 million now. We are a welfare state. Cyril and his family and his business associates are obviously licking their lips over alternative energy. They're obviously trying to privatize Eskom and other state-owned enterprises. They are not putting the country first. The ANC, the African National Congress, is not putting the country first. And a lot of us are watching. It's like watching idols. Hey, who will win? Hey, big brother. Hey, baba. And the saddest part is we're watching these political games and they actually affect our real lives. People have died from load shedding, either because they relied on oxygen and when the power left, they couldn't connect, they didn't have generators, they died. Robots go down, people end up driving through a robot in this car accident. Crime goes up when it's dark in spaces. And with crime, of course, people get hurt. While people are laughing, while Zuma and Ramaphosa are laughing and opening cases against each other, while people are, I'm Ankole, I'm radical economic transformation, while politicians are busy speaking to the media, real South Africans are suffering. Real South Africans are suffering. The people that they are meant to represent. They live in these nice, fancy, Democratic Alliance-run neighborhoods. DA-run neighborhoods. These white neighborhoods where their neighbors would never vote for them. They live there. They laugh. They drive in these blue light brigades with these black cars, bumping everyone off the highway. Move. Politician is here. And we, the citizens, the idiotic citizens, continue to vote for them, continue to support them and laugh and make memes on Twitter. And we refuse to see our role in voting for them. Also, sadly, especially because of Ramaphosa's bank statements to this day have not been unsealed. We don't know who funds him because on the one hand, the voters are the problem, the people voting for the ANC to continue looting, breaking this country, fucking this country up. On the other hand, there are funders There are very wealthy people, a lot of them white people, who give money to the ANC. A lot. Some of them are the biggest entrepreneurs in government. Some of them fund state-owned enterprises, or rather they get contracts from state-owned enterprise. Some of your favorite companies, of course, the Bidvest of this world, arguably the Discoveries of this world, the Aspen Pharmaceuticals of this world, and so many others, not just Patrice, Cyril's brother-in-law. There are so many other big business people that fund the ANC. And they are part of the problem because they give the ANC so much money so that the ANC can court all this media attention. Anyone who's trying to fix their community, anyone who's trying to repair potholes, anyone who's trying to grow food, anyone who's trying to create real jobs, they're not worth the media's attention. The people worth the media's attention are the people that can raise R1 billion from their funders. The people that have the media bosses' ears. And they say, hey, bring your people here. They must come listen to us, make noise and clown around and sing and point fingers at each other and who's the biggest criminal between me and you. Zweli Mkhize has been implicated through association with corruption. Cyril Ramaphosa is dealing with a pala case of money that should not have been there, foreign currency. And he's been linked to other atrocities. As a president of the country, he was responsible for any looting that happened to the COVID relief money. Look at what happened with the lockdown, where the government has still not apologized for what happened. Jobs lost, businesses have crashed, people have gotten sick, some have died. We are hearing stories now of certain side effects that are coming through and harming people in various ways. They will never apologize. Never. They don't care if there's blood on their hands because they kill each other for political positions. They bribe each other for political positions on behalf of their own greed, on behalf of the tenderpreneurs that fund them, on behalf of some of the big business people, some of them also tenderpreneurs who fund them. We're watching. I'm here making a nice video trying to analyze the ANC's 55th National Elective Conference, 25 years of the Constitution of South Africa, and looking back at the work that has been achieved. I think Cyril Ramaphosa said, we see green shoots about to sprout. Oh, great English, the King's English. King Charles, his mate. Oh, President Ramaphosa. Wow. This is how low we've become as human beings. We have become absolutely pathetic bystanders of bullshit. Because number one, we look to them for solutions which they do not have. They do not have them. We would have known by now. We'd know the great industrialization plan of the ANC, the great plan to revolutionize education, how they are going to upskill children, and we would be seeing their work in action. We'd be seeing the companies re-emerge. We'd be seeing them saying we no longer want imports. We'd be seeing how they are aggressively closing the borders so that people who are illegally here get kicked out and people cannot come in. We would see them clamping down on drugs, not just in impoverished areas, not just at the Cape Flats and other townships, but in some of the affluent areas where some of the biggest drug lords are there. We'd see them exposing the biggest entrepreneurs, which is big white-owned businesses, but they won't. Because they do not care about this country. They care about their greed. We are run by criminals. Of course, it would take criminals to fight against the criminal apartheid government. It's the only way. You have to be a thug to fight another thug. But now as the thug, you want to come and run the country when you have no skills, qualifications, no desire. You have no desire to run the country. You have a desire to be a thug and to loot. And to find some of your friends from the apartheid government, from colonization, the biggest thugs, befriend those guys and go and pay homage to King Thug, Charles. Oh, your highness, you and your family that looted and colonized and killed, mass murdered millions of people around the world to build this wealth and this monarch so we can watch your children, Harry and William, clown around this little Kardashian show. And we will come and we'll bow down and we'll let you continue looting, but we'll be the new security guards. We'll be the new fronts. We have no dignity. We have no integrity. We have no self-love. We do not hold ourselves accountable. We are complicit in the criminal behavior, in the mafia state we have in South Africa. Not just from the ANC, but from the DA, from the EFF, from the IFP. Action SA is still relatively young, I'm not sure, but they come from the DA. ATM, Vuyo Zumula was also raising the same issue with Ramaphosa, saying, why is he not stepping aside? But he expects everyone else to do the same. We vote for these people. We respect this unconstitutional voting process, which was ruled by a court of law. The courts are also corrupt, but it was ruled by a court of law as unconstitutional. Why must we be forced to vote for political parties when the Constitution allows us to vote for individuals? We respect this court that is obviously captured. Cyril Ramaphosa is not touched during the Zondo Commission. Zondo gets made Chief Justice. The South African police services, where the police are meant to serve you, they don't. Either they don't have cars or they are corrupt themselves. Some are beating inmates who have done nothing wrong. Some are raping inmates. They are corrupt. They get bribed as well. They don't show up. We don't have cars. They're rude to the citizens they meant to serve, the tax-paying citizens. They're rude. The nurses, attitude. The doctors, public hospitals, attitude. Horrible. I saw a picture, I think, of a hospital. I think it may have been in Tembisa, if not Alex. I think Tembisa. Horrible scenes of what it looks like there. Of course, it's probably the emergency trauma unit. And look, that's what kind of happens when it's rush time. Especially 16, when the majority of black South Africans are busy getting drunk, getting high, celebrating, who knows, celebrating unemployment, celebrating poverty, celebrating a corrupt government, celebrating a criminal lockdown, celebrating the fact that we have become a pathetic country. Let's celebrate and get drunk. It's been a tough year, Baba. A tough year of doing nothing. A tough year of just noise and reality TV and social media. I celebrate you. This year we went through a lot. A lot of what? You didn't set up a business. You didn't start growing your own food. You haven't even begun the process of getting yourself or weaning yourself off Eskom. Saving some money for a generator. You'd rather take a 6-pack or a crate. Using money to buy lamps. Our parents, how much we buy gas stoves, but we don't have money. But you have money for choice assorted biscuits. You have money for custard and jelly. You have money for long trips to go home. You're taking in and give it thanks. Give thanks for what? Because your family died and you couldn't even bury them during the lockdown. Your government said you can't touch them. Now we don't wear masks and hey, COVID, baby. Wait, COVID. Ihambile. Yeah. Asazi. It's gone. COVID is gone. It's come here. It's visit a bit. It's many variants. It's a delta. Is now gone. During those same hard lockdowns, whenever the ANC would campaign and go to stadiums, especially during the local elections, all of a sudden, COVID numbers are fine. We vote. We keep buying from businesses that fund the ANC and these other political parties that don't care. We work for this government and we give shit service to the citizens of this country because abantu abamnyama bathanda ukuhola kodwa abafuni ukusebenza. You want to get paid but you don't want to work. And then you wonder why this country is falling apart. Everyone is trying to shift into private healthcare and private schooling and close the states and neighborhoods with private security, including your politicians that are meant to be fixing those things. They live in gated estates. They use private healthcare. They send their kids to private schools. They use private security. And somehow we must take them seriously. And somehow you must take, or I must take you seriously. We must take ourselves. How? How if we're allowing this to happen? I'm disgusted by the ANC National Conference. It disgusts me that we are watching a clown show of clowns, old pensioners, arguing against each other, singing songs, umzabalazo, raising the same fucking tired names. Tambo, Mandela, Sisulu, Mandela, Winnie Madikizela, Charlotte Maxeke, who was not even part of the ANC. Oh, Chris Hani, Martin Tembisile, the cadres we have lost. A bunch of thuggery, a bunch of fucking buffoonery while the country burns. And some of these motherfuckers, they've got offshore accounts and offshore properties and friends offshore so that when the country implodes, they will go there and be chilled. while we stay and we live with this fucking bullshit that they created and that we endorsed because we have become weak. We don't have guns. You saw the mighty Zulus. Oh, Zulu Sabega in Zula. You saw the mighty Zulus getting dominated by, hey, oh, Lani, oh, you want a 10 rand bunny there? Oh, what kind there? Lani. Getting dominated by Indians from Phoenix. Dominated the mighty Zulu, oh, the warrior, the people of Shaka. Oh, Tina the Zulu. Dominated by Amandia. How do you respect yourselves? I keep begging people. And some of you are hearing. And for those of you that are hearing, for those of you who understand, thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you. South Africa does not deserve us. We should leave. We need to come together like the white people that I'm leaving, Mary, I'm leaving, as Trevor Noah said. Moving to Australia, moving to Canada. No, I'm going to Singapore to go and live in a better country that's run better. Maybe some of us need to congregate and start looking into second passports and leaving. Getting a dual citizenship, maybe in Dubai, somewhere where the Arabs have got good leadership and vision. You guys are listening. You have created WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups in your communities. You're communicating. You've got neighborhood watches that have been implemented. You have started growing your own food, your own vegetable gardens in your home or in your community. You are going to shooting ranges and you're learning how to shoot guns and you are buying guns. You are going for self-defense classes and you're learning to fight. Karate, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, boxing. Some of you are actually trying to become the solution. Not for the country, fuck the country. The country doesn't give a fuck. All they want is social grants, ARVs, Puza, Dawa, Kunyo. Nokufeba. I mean, paper and make kids and party amasimba. Ntwale konke and kande ama-TikTok video and shama happy. Look and drive and shama dance challenge. If I see a dance challenge, I'm a dance challenge about Beyonce. A lost fucking generation of people in South Africa. Which make me fucking mad, but at the same time, I don't fucking care. You know, we say, or people keep saying that they can't wait till the pensioners die in the ANC because they are the problem. The problem is not the pensioners. The problem is this whole bunch of voters, the majority, and these funders. It's not a youth, female, it's not. If there were young, innovative females, if there were young, energized leaders, we'd be seeing them and they would be running communities. And of course, I need to give a shout out to Ian Cameron. I need to give a shout out to Tutuzane Zuma. I need to give a shout out to Nhlanhla Lux. I need to give a shout out to Chris Papas. There are young people, very few, that are doing something. But for the rest, we need young people in government. Who? So you guys can go and become clowns like Mbalula. Mbalula was a youth leader. ANC Youth League. Became a clown. Clowns on Twitter. Clowns on videos. Because he doesn't fucking care. The rest of you, when you speak about youth leadership, I'll tell you where the youth are. The youth are drunk and hung over somewhere. The youth are smoking hub leaf, not in Yahupe somewhere. The youth are busy fucking each other somewhere. Without protection, without a plan, without jobs, without money, without any land. They unemployed, unemployable, skillless, have built nothing, refuse to farm, refuse to go and build the villages, refuse to build anything. They fucking lazy. The same youth is on Twitter making noise, speaking about foreigners. Foreigners are working. Whether illegal or legal, they're in containers, they're working, they're at car workshops, they're selling tires, they're fixing tires, they're in their little shops, they're selling, they're going to be selling you fireworks come end of the year. Man, celebrate you, Happy New Year! Number one, Gukozi. Number one. Hey, spread it out, cause your firm found again. You want to work? Hey man, South Africans make me sad. But I will continue on my journey to insulate myself and move far away from South Africans and find my people. Find my people, create our spaces that are insulated from the ANC and the rest of the politicians, that are insulated from the idiotic South Africans who are destroying this country, insulated from the devilish business people that allow this country to keep fucking out, and insulated from the Western and the Eastern world that don't want us to win. Paying you all the black pen, man. Let's keep talking about the ANC 55th National Elective Conference and see who will win and have a good laugh and make videos and get views and trend, whatever the fuck. I love you guys. For those of you who are like me, let's find each other and let's build small communities, independent communities that are saved. Cheers.